Hey guys, it's Cat's Play, and as you probably already heard by now, a preliminary opinion was leaked from the Supreme Court that indicates how it's probably going to go in June for Roe versus Wade. It's looking like it's going to be overturned. We're not sure yet, but it's definitely looking that way. Now, I want to discuss abortion uh, in a bit, but I wanted to talk about um, my own situation. I am a mother. I had a successful pregnancy, um, and I want to talk about that for a bit. I have a condition called polycystic ovarian syndrome, and what that means is that when I ovulate, my ovaries produce more cysts than is necessary, and that causes my egg to not, my ovaries to not ovulate at the right time. And essentially, the egg cell that I'm supposed to release gets lost. And this causes a lot of different side effects, the most notable of which is infertility. We, my husband and I, tried for 10 years to have a baby, and we finally decided to go to a fertility clinic to find out what was going on. And that's when I got my diagnosis. And when I first stepped into the fertility clinic, I didn't have to ask for anyone's permission. There were no protesters, calling me names. There were no one standing outside trying to persuade me to not go into the fertility clinic. Um, and After we tried several different methods, and we decided that my best chance of getting pregnant was in vitro fertilization, which itself is a controversial procedure. Um, my procedure created 14 embryos, 5 of which we knew were viable. And if you are of the belief that life begins at conception, you might consider those 14 embryos as babies. Again, this is a controversial procedure. But still, I did not have to ask permission to do any of it. And I was fortunate enough to be able to take advantage of this procedure. One of those embryos became my daughter. And whether or not I choose to have another child, we really haven't decided. I have 5 more years to decide before the fertility clinic will say, no, you can't have any more babies. Um, but no one's ever going to force me to implant the remaining 13 embryos in my body or attempt to carry them to term. And no one's going to force me to give them to someone else so that they can try to have a baby. You know, it is universally agreed that those embryos are mine and mine to do with as I want. If I decide to just have them discarded or donate them to medical research, which is what we're likely going to do, um, that's my choice. And I don't have to ask for anyone's permission. Now, some people don't agree with my decision to pursue IVF. They haven't said it to my face, but I have had comments made to me on the internet, some of them from very close friends. And while it was infuriating, they thought they had a place to say, make those comments. They at least respected me as a person to um, to know that it was not their decision. That was my decision and mine alone. And I find it infuriating. I find it weird that abortion is considered different. So if God forbid, knock on wood, something had happened in my pregnancy with my daughter, and I had to decide whether or not to continue with the pregnancy, why would I have to ask my husband's permission or my family's permission or the rando dude bro with a sign of cut up fetuses on the sidewalk? Why would I have to ask my governor or even request a literal act of Congress to protect my access to abortion? And you may say, well, Kat, your situation is different. You were trying to have a baby, and it's so selfish because all these infertile people, all these fertile couples are trying to have a baby. Um, and here's where I'm going to stop you because, contrary to popular belief, abortion is very much on the table in the infertile community because conditions that cause infertility are often linked to life-threatening complications in pregnancy and fatal congenital birth defects. And it is very common for infertile couples to get successfully pregnant, a complication to happen, and they have to choose to terminate because they believe that is the best outcome for everybody. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Abortion is just as vital to reproductive health care as in vitro fertilization and artificial insemination. It's just as vital as pap smears. And no amount of legislation, no amount of protesting at Planned Parenthood or chest pounding by the anti abortion movement is going to change that. People need access to this procedure, whether or not you personally approve of it. And abortion is a highly personal decision, and I wish we respected childbearing patients enough to let them make that decision for themselves. No one should have to ask for permission to do what they feel is right for them. And the only opinion that matters when it comes to in vitro fertilization, when it comes to abortion, is the person carrying the pregnancy and what they want. And you don't have to approve of what that decision. You don't have to be okay with it. Everyone has their own personally held beliefs, and no one's trying to change that. But we need to recognize that these decisions are decisions that should remain between the patient and their doctor. And let's say Roe versus Wade is overturned, and yay, anti-abortions get what they want, right? No, because anti-abortion activists are not going to stop at abortion. They also don't want. Uh, they also don't want, for lack of a better term, women and childbearing trans people or anyone that has childbearing that has the ability to carry a child to access birth control. They don't want, because they believe that life begins at conception, they don't want infertile people to have access to in vitro fertilization. Basically, they want to control people that are able to bear children um, because they think they know better. They think it's their decision. They think we should have to ask them for permission, and we don't. So that's my 2 cents, more than 2 cents, and hopefully Roe versus Wade will still be the law of the land. We will know in June. So I will see you then. This is Cat's Play, and like, subscribe, all that jazz. Bye.